Bite.
Content Bite.
I'm Lynn Testoni. I'm a journalist and a content creator, and you are?
I'm Rachel Smith. I'm a journalist, content creator, and a copywriter, and I'm the founder of Rachel's List, which is a jobs board, blog, toolkit.
Basically everything.
Lots of resources for creative people, so check it out at rachelslist.com.au.
And you're listening to The Content Bite,
Yes.
which is a podcast for journalists, for content writers, digital writers, copywriters, editors, social media, people like us, really.
People like us, basically anyone who uses their words to make money. And
Yes.
or if you don't use your words to make money but you use other things to make money and you're a freelancer, you might find a lot of this useful.
Yeah, for sure. So this episode we're talking about staying productive and how to make money.
Or how to stay productive so you make more money.
Yes.
So yeah, really about how to use your time effectively and how to create systems and how to outsource and routines that we like to follow.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. So
And it's good because I think Rachel and I work slightly differently, which is a
very
good thing.
differently. We were just talking about it going, oh my gosh.
We do things differently, which is good because it's not one size fits all anyway. It's whatever
Yes.
works for you. So we'll share things that work for us and things we know. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So what's your routine, Rachel?
Okay, well, one thing that I do and have been doing forever is I do my Sunday list. And I
You do love a list.
I do love a list. Very funny. So I've got a template. It's basically a Word document. It says to do this week on it, and it's split into sections for Rachel's List stuff, for my own personal work, for miscellaneous things that I need to do for my family or whatever. And it's split into days. So because I only work part-time, my work days are full, and then it's got other stuff that can be done throughout the week. And anyway, I update that every single Sunday, and then I also update my Trello with client things that are due, and I also update my diary, and I try and do a little plan in my diary of what I'm going to do hourly throughout the day, just so I see what I'm trying to achieve that day. And sometimes the wheels will fall off the trolley, but I find having that list and my diary and Trello, it's like a 3-pronged approach to getting stuff done that I need to get done, and I would be lost without it. I've done some kicked off the week without doing my lists, and it's just been a complete shambles.
Fair enough. You need your list.
Yes, I do. What about you? What's your routine?
Well, I guess there's a few different things that I do. First of all, I try and get up early and I exercise. I usually do a Pilates class. Sometimes I do a run. And I take the dog for a walk and get a coffee. So I do all those things and then I get straight into my computer. So basically the bulk of my writing is done by about 11 or 12 a.m. And then I spend the afternoon fine-tuning and editing and then doing interviews, emailing, finances, invoicing, all that sort of stuff. So I try and do clear bulks of a big slab of time in the morning. I also never start with a blank page. Mm-hmm. I always have something. If I finish a story, I start the next one straight away. So I've got something already there. While I'm still in the flow of it, I may not finish it, but I might get the structure up and maybe even a suggested heading or a few slabs of copy. But I also use a paper diary. I have a whole week and I plan out what I'm going to do each day, like the major thing I'm going to do. And I use some of your productivity tools. What are the ones that people like?
No, sorry, I'm still seething with jealousy over the fact that you get to exercise every morning.
Well, I don't have a toddler. That makes a difference.
Yeah. Productivity tools. I'm back on track now. Yes. So I know yes, people do tend to really love. We've got like a whole series of trackers.
Yep.
So we've got like the pitch tracker. So if you're sending pitches to clients or pitches to editors, you can track them in this spreadsheet and it's got interactive graphs. We've got an income tracker, which is good for your incomings and outgoings. Mm-hmm. An expert tracker where you can pop in all the experts and case studies that you talk to all the time. And we've got a client tracker, which is really great for lead generation, tracking new leads and new clients, and also nurturing existing clients. And we're actually doing a really big special this week for podcast listeners. If you wanted
shameless
to,
plug.
shameless plug. If you wanted to try some of the tools on the Rachel's List Toolkit, we're going to give you a code at the end. So keep listening. Yeah. What else? What else do we need to talk about? Income targets.
Yeah. So
which is really
every
different
week
about this
I have. We are a bit different, but every week I have a weekly income target that I try and hit every week. A minimum. I have like a basic one that I have to hit and a stretch target. So which is like if I'm, every now and again I try
$10,000.
Yeah. No, but close. But so I do. I try and work out what I'm doing because sometimes I realize I might be doing lots of little things, and I'm not doing one of the big projects that I need to sort of get the income that I want, and otherwise, and it keeps me focused. Otherwise, you just sort of realize at the end of the week, I haven't actually achieved as much as I should, and so I like to tick off those things. I also tick my little income tracker when I invoice to make sure I invoice everybody. Don't get caught up with the doing. What about you?
I don't have a weekly income target, but I do have a monthly one because it's sort of built into Rounded.
Oh yes.
Yeah, so it's actually really cute. It's like a little graph thing, and as you get paid and you kind of
that's cute.
tick it off in Rounded, the little graph goes along the thing, and it kind
of. And Rounded is Rachel's.
Yeah. I love Rounded. Rounded is a fantastic accountancy package, and it's for freelancers, so it's very cool, and it's actually stopped my eyes glazing over whenever I thought or talked about money. It's actually made it a bit like a game.
Because I use QuickBooks, which probably similar. Mine has a little dashboard that says where I'm tracking, and I can look at this financial year, or usually I do on this quarter, just to make sure I'm tracking where I should. Because it's that sort of a bit of a. It keeps you on track, and it's
You've
nice.
Got to monitor your money. You do. You've got to try and see where you're going, and
otherwise you spend all your time doing things that aren't. Well, we need to live. We need to pay the mortgage.
Yeah, and you've got to see when you need to hustle more. So, okay. So, what other ways do we save time and stay productive?
So, what do you do, Rach?
Okay. Well, I actually did a webinar with Rounded recently, and I mentioned one of my favourite strategies, which is batching.
Batching?
Yeah. So batching is where you get the same sort of tasks and you set out a slab of time to do those things. So it might be, preparing social media for a client for the week, and you do all the posts rather than chasing your tail and doing bits one a day and freaking out and then doing the scheduling, and it takes so much longer. So if you just set aside 2 hours, do your whole post for the week, or whatever it takes you, or it might be that you batch all your admin tasks, or you might batch all your transcribing if you're doing it yourself, which I don't. Send it to Reb every time. Or you might batch. What else can you batch?
Sometimes if I'm doing a series of blog posts for a client, so they might want 4, might be delivered over a month, but I often will write them all together while I'm in that headspace, while I'm doing the research. Even if I don't do the final edit, I might sort of plan it out that way, because while you're in that zone and you're doing the research, it helps you rather than going back and having to refresh each time. It's often faster.
I also batch, when I told you about this, my inbox zero habit, you thought that was hilarious. Lynn, I just want to share with you all that Lynn has 14,000 emails in her inbox.
I know. Embarrassing but true. But hey, it works.
So, yes, no, she's not a fan of batching her inbox, whereas I like to do a little thing called inbox zero. I get to inbox zero every night by 11 o'clock. On the Rachel's List inbox and my personal inbox.
See, I have the same feeling that you do about inboxing as you do about me getting up at 6 a.m. every morning to do Pilates. It's, whatever.
No, I have to. Otherwise I miss stuff, or I don't action stuff, or whatever. I need to action everything and have some clear white space in the inbox. So, yeah, that's really good for batching. But the other thing that I batch, which is slightly off topic, is I batch cooking.
Ah.
Yeah, so I'll batch on a Sunday. I will batch cooking for the whole week, so that I can chuck stuff in the slow cooker or whatever, and all my evenings are just so blissful. Well, nothing's ever blissful with a 5-year-old. No evening is blissful with a 5-year-old, but if
Try
you've
and
got
make
your
it
cooking
easy.
sorted, it's much better. So what do? Do you do anything else to stay productive?
I do a lot of interviews, and as soon as I get a commission, I find the hardest thing that takes a bit of time to set up is I organise the interviews. So I might send off a flurry of emails to organise the interviews for a commission, for whether it's for a corporate client or for a journalism client, and I do that. And as soon as I do an interview, I send it to Rev or transcribing. Immediately, so it's already there, even if it's like a week or even a month before I need to turn the story in.
Yeah.
So it's already done. There's nothing worse than going to write a story and realizing you're missing a critical interview.
Yes.
Or something being transcribed.
Mm-hmm. I also think that productivity, a lot of it comes down to knowing what to outsource and
Yes.
you know, that sort of thing. I mean, I outsource my transcribing because I absolutely hate doing it. So I've got people to transcribe for me in the past. So I've had a lot of transcribers. At the moment I use Rev, but I absolutely have to transcribe, get that done, outsource that I mean. I also outsource all my accountancy stuff. So my accountant does, you know, all the tax and everything. I would never dream of doing my own tax. I haven't for years and years.
I used to, but then I just found, I think with my finances, once you get a lot of different clients, it can get quite messy and I just decided I wasn't comfortable with just me looking at it. I wanted somebody to double check to make sure I didn't make any
But also
errors.
I feel like they can get
they're way
so
faster.
many more, but they can get so many more things that you might not have thought of or know about, you know, through. So
no, absolutely, and they deal with the ATO and everything, but I find having outsourcing as much the finances as you can, which is really good. What else do I outsource? A lot of domestic things, like particularly, you know, online shopping, all that sort of stuff. Grocery shopping, all that sort of stuff.
That's a 2-hour time saver, right?
Yeah, exactly. And actually, that's one of the joys of working from home, because I can have the groceries delivered at any time.
Yeah.
So I quite like that. I do outsource. Occasionally I outsource some research. Sometimes the odd story that I'm really stuck with, I'll get somebody to have a look at and they might do an edit. I know a lot of writers that actually outsource proofreading.
Yeah, wow. Okay.
It's probably more common in America, or it's more common in advertising agencies where somebody does all the writing and then they'll get a proofreader just check spelling and grammar. And if you're not great at that, you can still be a good writer without being an amazing speller. And if you're not great at that, it's really good to get somebody to look at that. Yeah.
I think it's always good to get a second look, but I have never outsourced that because I used to sub. So I like to just leave things overnight and then go over them and pick it all up.
I do too.
Day. Yeah.
I do too. And but yes, I usually go through and give it if we can leave it for at least a day, but 2 days is better.
I have a feeling, we haven't even timed it, but I have a feeling we are way over time.
We probably are. How unusual for us.
How unusual. Anyway.
But you've been listening to the Content Bite, Lynn and Rachel.
If you've listened to the end, you will remember that we were going to give you a special code for the toolkit if you wanted to try some of our trackers. And the code is BYTE50, BYTE 50. If you put that in the toolkit, you'll get
a whole 50% off.
50% off for the next
bonus
week. And this is a special deal for our lovely podcast listeners. So
very nice.
Enjoy and let us know if you do buy anything and if you love it, because we love feedback, don't we, Lynn?
We do.
Okay,
Bye.